Welcome on in, guys. Three bold takes again. Real quick before we hit the intro, like, comment, subscribe if you like what you're seeing. We're doing a series on what makes a team successful in 2024. And in this video, we're doing Utah. We've already done Texas, Oregon, as well as Colorado. So this is the kind of the first round here. Chase, Utah, big deal coming into the Big 12 here from the Pac-12 with the exit of Texas and Oklahoma. What would make a successful 2024 year for Utah?
I have one requirement and one requirement only of the Utah Utes in 2024 to have a successful season. And gentlemen, that is to have in this new 12-team playoff to be one of the four teams with a bye in the first round. That means they have to win their conference. By far and away, gentlemen, Utah is the best team in the Big 12. Big 12 is one of the weakest conferences out of the Power Four now. I'm saying that because of the last year's additions of the group of five teams. Utah is easily, definitely on paper, the best team there is. I believe the best coach in the Big 12, and I also believe the best quarterback in the Big 12. You can talk semantics with the Shedeur Sanders or whoever else you want to, but this is the best team. And it is a failure. It is a failure if you're not one of the four teams at the end of the year with a bye week going into the 12 or a first round bye going into the 12-team playoff. I think if you're just in the playoff, that's cool, but you're probably going to get bounced. I believe if you're in the latter half of the playoffs, you have to have that first round bye because you have to win your conference. Simple as that for me. Quinn?
Yeah, for me, Utah, for the last year, we've been talking, it feels like for the last year, ever since we knew Utah and the Arizona Seals and Colorado were coming back, or were coming to the Big 12. It's been a pretty consensus topic that we've been talking about how, like, the Big 12 is going to be a conference defined by a handful of teams at the top that are really good program teams, but nobody who's just going to, like, oh, they're Oklahoma. Of course they're going to win the Big 12. You know what I mean? So that's what they're missing is a powerhouse team. For me, Utah, when I look at the array of teams we're going to have in the Big 12, Utah has all the potential in the world to be the best one. And I think this is the season where you prove that, especially when you still have a lot of key pieces that you've had for a while. Chase, you're completely right. I think for a successful year for Utah, you've got to be the team that wins the conference in its first year in this sport. You cannot slip up and let a Kansas State or Colorado or an Arizona or West Virginia to sneak in and take it from you. You have to get it this year, I think, if you're Utah, and start building a regular pattern of winning the Big 12 after this. I think you've got one of the most rock-solid coaching staffs in your conference, and it's time to prove it and start to make yourself a mainstay in the playoffs. Because if you do that, you are going to be able to establish yourself as the new power of the Big 12. Naturally, you're going to start recruiting people easier if you're consistently making playoffs. So for me, Utah has to win the conference and make the playoffs in that first round bye.
Wow, high success bars here for Utah. I tell you what, I just want to say this first and foremost. I'm excited to see Utah play Baylor. I'm excited to see Utah play Houston, to play TCU, like Iowa State. Like these teams, like I'm so excited for the Big 12 this year because it's wide open to me. Like with Texas and Oklahoma leaving, yes, Utah's coming in expected to win the conference. They're probably the favorite in Vegas to win the conference. But you've never seen Utah play the type of schools that they're going to play this year. You've also never seen the type of school, or like the schools that are in the Big 12 now, play a team like Utah. Now, they have played Texas and Oklahoma, but for a team that's as good as Utah, they're not known to be historically dominant like a Texas and Oklahoma is. So it's a different mindset coming into the game. Now, I think the biggest game on their schedule to me is, funny enough, another Pac-12, former Pac-12 school is Arizona. I think that's going to be a huge game this year. Now, I know that Arizona might be down just a little bit than they were last year, finished ranked in the top 15. I just don't see any other team on this schedule that can really give them a fight. I mean, Oklahoma State, like, that'll be a great game at Oklahoma State. Very excited for that game. That's actually week, 4? So I think you definitely have to make the conference title. For me, success is making a conference title, but not necessarily having to win it. Now, if you go undefeated in the regular season and then losing the conference title, that's still successful to me. Now, I know it's not to you guys. You expect them to win and be a top 4 seed. However, it's a different ball game for them, and especially like Cam Rising, man, like he missed all of last year, right? So like longevity of the season wise, how's that going to affect him? I would assume it won't. However, we don't know that. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be super exciting. I think they definitely have to make the playoffs and make the conference championship, but I do not think they have to win. Now, they have to play it close. If they get blown out in the conference title, then, that's a failure of a year, because then you're talking about a low seed in the playoffs, or a high seed, rather, I guess it would be, barely making the playoffs at all. And that's a huge disappointment if I'm a Utah fan.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Good on
Well,
them.
Guys, I appreciate you watching and listening in. This has been our Utah video on what would make a successful 2024. We're doing a ton of these all the way throughout the month of May. So stay tuned for all those. Like, comment, subscribe, share to your friends, and we will see you in just a couple of days. Peace.